What's up, Raider Nation? This is your man, Cliff Thornton from the Raider Fan Podcast. My question to you all is, how you feeling on this Monday? I don't know about you guys. How do you feel about the game? 29-30 in overtime. Should we have gone for the win? Should we have gone for the tie? And that's always it's going to be a debate. It's going to be a tough question. You play to win the game. I know, Mr. Herm Edwards, that just came to me and just kept ringing the bell. You play to win the game. You play to win the game. We're not having a good season, so that could really jump-started something. I don't know what it could have, but it could have done something for the organization and for the fan base to have a win or a tie. I think a tie is better than a loss. Don't get me wrong. A win is a lot better, but that's a tough situation right there because you want to be able to go in there after a hard-fought game and win the game. Geno Smith did a good job getting down there. Once again, made some mistakes, but for the most part, he played some good football. So, what are your thoughts? Tell me in the comments. Should we went for the tie? Was it a good call to go for the 2-point conversion? I'm sure that everybody's going to have their own opinion about it. But let's get into the game. Are you impressed with Geno Smith? I've been critical for the past few weeks. He needs to be benched. We need to bring someone in. I was looking and waiting for Geno Smith to come in and play some good ball. And I think this was his best game. Don't get me wrong, he made some crucial mistakes. But he goes 29 for 39, 284 yards, 4 touchdowns, but another pick, and it's, these interceptions, you lead the leagues. This is what hurts, the organization. It hurts their offense. It hurts the defense. It kind of puts you down, but he came back strong. So I got to give him a little bit. He really didn't put his head down too much, and he came out and he played some good ball. But again, you throw another interception, but at least you got 4 touchdowns to go with it. What are your thoughts of how he played? The problem with this game I have is good teams, good players find ways to win the game, and this Raider organization, we find ways to lose, you know what I mean? Whether it's, the kicking game, Carson doesn't mix PATs and he misses a crucial PAT, which came back and bit us because we could have went for the touchdown, went for the PAT and won the game that way, but instead we had to go for 2. And, what happens, you know what I mean? It's, if you look at that one play, Trey Tucker was wide open. He could have got into the ball, but the ball got deflected. Not too sure what the quarterback could have done. Maybe throw it over his head a little bit or done something, but it brings me back to good teams, good players, find ways to win. We haven't gotten there yet, but I would say this is probably, besides the Patriot game, week 1, this is the most complete game that we've had. I like to see the running game a little bit more. Ashton Genty, 13 carries for 42 yards. That doesn't cut it. You got to be able to run the ball a little bit more. And honestly, I like to see more passes down the field. Let's open this playbook up. It seems like it's a lot of rinky-dink, tight end heavy. We got some good wide receivers. We need to actually start feeding them a little bit more, although we do have a beast in the tight end and Brock Bowers. Comes back from injury, balls out, plays like a beast, 12 receptions, 127 yards. 3 touchdowns. What more can you do from, a tight end? He blocks and, he really put the game on his shoulders and just, give me the ball, made some ridiculous catches, one-handed over the back. It just, what is it? 2 hands equals 1 butt, So, good for him. It's good to have him back. And Geno Smith seems a little bit more comfortable with a tight end than he does without, even though Mayers is pretty good, but, he's not a Brock Bowers. But Ashton Genty does help out in the passing game. 5 receptions for 47 yards and a touchdown. So that's not too bad an overall game. I just think that we need to feed the beast a little bit more. And our wide receivers, Trey Tucker is the speed guy. Jacoby Myers is the probably the slot, but we should definitely start targeting them a little bit more. Trey Tucker, three receptions, 38 yards. That's not, is he the number one? That's not a lot of receptions for a number one receiver. Jacoby Myers, 4 receptions for 27 yards or 23 yards rather. That's not number one or number two numbers. Them are number 3 numbers. So I would like to see our offense, disperse the ball a little bit more to the receivers, even though the tight end did a really good job. That's on the offensive coordinator, and hopefully we could, stop moving the ball a little bit. But I will say the Raiders offensively looked a lot better this week compared to the previous weeks. The defense, Isaiah Palomala, a crucial pick in the end zone. We don't normally get turnovers, so to see that, that was pretty good. Matt Crosby, 3 tackles, 1 assist, and a sack. That guy's just a beast. He's getting double, tripled, and he's just wreaks havoc. He's at every single play. He doesn't have a motor. His motor doesn't stop, I should say. And he's just all over the place. And the quarterbacks know exactly where he is. He's making plays in the run game, the pass game. So he's just being a beast. But I like to see another on the other side. With Kuntz, with Tyree. Where are these guys showing up? I like to see. But Devin White, 8 tackles, 8 assists. You can't ask more for that from a linebacker. He's doing really, really good. So he's complimentary. I like to see another defensive end or a defensive tackle that can really just add a little bit of more oomph and be that dominant defense. The backside does pretty good, but middle, with the linebacker and the defensive end, I just like to see another player step up. I was impressed with the kick returner, Raheem Mostert. 5 receptions, 5 returns for 202 yards. That dude was just giving us great field position. So you have to be thankful for that. Like I said, the Raiders played a good football game. And it was probably their best, most competitive, their best completed game. But we still couldn't get it done because why? Good teams, good players find ways to win them games. We're not there yet. And I know a lot of people, and I even said it, does the head coach need to be replaced? Offensive coordinator, does the quarterback need to be benched? We want results. We want results now. And I know I don't want to say it's a rebuilding team, but it's a team that they haven't found each other yet. There's no identity. And I think we're a couple players short, and hopefully we can have a lot of players stay for next year. I don't know what the season's going to bring. But I hope that we go out and we compete every single game. It would have been a really big win, Kansas City losing, even though the Chargers and Denver are in our Division 1, but it would have been really good to get that 3rd win, the 2nd win, but it's tough, we just finally used to lose the game, you know what I mean? So, but this was probably the closest game. 29-30 in overtime. It's just tough when you miss a PAT and then you get the 2-point conversion, knocked down. It's disheartening. So the tie, go for the win, but you come out, with the loss. So I don't know how that's gonna play out with everybody. So, but leave your comments in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you guys. But now we're on Thursday night, playing against the number 1 team in our division. 7-2 Denver Broncos. It's a winnable game. I would like to see the Raiders come out just like they came out, with Jacksonville, a little bit more force and not give up so many points, but to really be competitive and maybe pull out that win because I believe coming out of the bye week, the Raiders impressed me a little bit. I'm not fully sold, but at least I'm a little impressed on how they came out and they played. Geno Smith, I'm glad that he's playing some good ball. Max Crosby is always going to be the dude, but It was good. It was good to see some good football, and hopefully we'll have some more really good football coming. The next week and the Thursday night. Let me know what you guys think. Tell me how you feel about how the Raiders played. 2-point conversion or tie? What should we have done there? And what do you think about the upcoming game against the Denver Broncos? I would love to hear from you. Let's go Raiders.